Alright, so we are in the peach area now, and basically these peach trees are 2 years old, and just this last year they have grown tremendously, like quadruple their original size of last year. So with the peach trees, what I want to establish is 4 strong limbs, and that's it. So like I need 4 strong limbs, and I want them to be about the same height up. So I would take out this right there because he is much lower than the rest of them. So I want to create 4 strong limbs on each tree. This one was last year's. He's just a 1-year-old. But I want to still do the same thing on them because I want to create a bunch of growth into the ground. For root system, we're in Ohio. This is flat. We have high winds. So what we're going to do is we're going to prune these trees back. You can see he's got a little guy at the bottom there. This little guy, that's just sucking the life out of my tree. It could be putting that energy into other parts of the tree. And then over here, those are that's a strong limb right there, and this is a strong limb. So if I take out that middle part, I think that'd be a good idea for there. And then this is just a 1-year-old right over here as well, which I still want to do the same thing. So I got a bunch of limbs over here that are facing down. Okay, I want to eliminate that. This one as well. So I'll probably come up here and just take this central leader out and take these ones out, and maybe we'll work on this one. So let's prune these trees. This one is the biggest one, so this one's gonna be probably my biggest headache because I got all these crossovers and everything like that. You want air and sunlight to get to the middle of the tree. So that's what we're going to work on, and then we are going to save the cuttings. So this one, look, this is a deer has been eating this. That's what that is right here. A deer has just been coming and just nipping the ends off. Soup, soup, soup. But right here, we got a really good butt on the end. Let me try to find it on camera. There's a really good butt on the end. We're going to cut that, and we're going to save that as a cutting. So we're going to get as many cuttings as we can from the fruit trees, and we're going to try to plant them. Like, here's a real good one. So let's see. Here's a real good one. And then what we would do is just cut it right here, and then we would save this middle piece and put it in a cutting compound and plant it. And I'll show you a separate video on the cuttings, so because we want to kind of track that as it goes along. That way you guys can see how ours goes and we can see how it goes. So let's get pruning. We're running out of daylight. Okay, we did some extreme pruning on our peach trees, and so what I want is I want 4 or 5 branches to go out, preferably at like a 45-degree angle. I believe they call it the vase look of a tree. So basically I would like that V, and these branches right here, they were just going crazy before. I want a lot of sunlight and air to get to the middle of the trees. This one I didn't take too much off because it was the biggest, and I kind of wanted just to see what's going to happen with that one. All of this is kind of an experiment on my farm here. That was just a little guy to begin with. Here's a good example of how much I actually took off. This one was probably about the size of that one right there, and now he's about that size because we cut a lot off. Now, like I said before, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to promote a lot of root growth. There's a lot of high winds. You can see how the tree is leaning already because of high winds. I want the roots to go really deep and really strong, and that eventually will produce a lot of fruit for in the future. Probably the most I cut off was probably this one, if you remember the before, and then that one. But there you go. That's pruning the peaches, and it's March 2nd. So I'm doing this real cold weather, and then if you watch my video about the cuttings, you'll see what I'm going to do with the ends that I cut off. Alright, leave a comment, tell me how you do your trees, like the video, and share it. As always, God bless.